You can do it. Focus. There we go. Okay, this is huge. I don't remember the size of it. I covered it up before I recorded the size. I think it was like 12 by 14 or something like that. Anyway, it's really huge and I don't want to work in one this big again because it's just too awkward and hard to... It's just hard to work with. But I do like some of the pages I did, and I mean this size has some advantages, but it's just not for me. Okay, so yeah, that's the cover. So this is my art journal number 4. I had run out of the usual size 9 by 12 that I like using. It's a Canson mixed media spiral bound journal, and that's what I like using. But yes, I had run out. I went to get a new one to replace it, and couldn't find my usual size, so I got this size, but I shouldn't have. But it was all that they had, and I needed a new journal, so there you go. So that's why this one is so huge. So anyway, can't remember exactly what inspired these mermaids. I know that they are influenced, like the way that they're drawn and such. I know that that's influenced by Jane Davenport from the Life Book 2012 that I had taken. These fish, I had drawn them, and anyway, my brother-in-law had something with a fish like that on it, and I loved it, and so I drew it, and then I took a photo and made it small so that I could put it on my cover here. And these 2 shells are from napkins. So this, alright, this is from October 13th of 2012 until October 31st of 2013. So this was pretty much a year. Okay, and this first spread was, well, it failed. I kind of like this piece of paper towel that I used after using my new stencil of leaves, and dilution sprays, and then the some of these leaves have molding paste. You probably can't tell. Anyway, it's molding paste, and I was experimenting with that technique. I love the technique, but I kind of messed it up. And then I was trying to make the stencil my own, and well, not my own, but I was trying. Yeah, and the leaves are from Michael's. The ones on top that are glued. The ones like this are from Michael's, the $1.50 bin. Here's some journaling. This was inspired by I had bought a pair of earrings to use as stencils because I thought that it would work, but it doesn't really, because I guess it's the pieces are too small or something. Anyway, the package that the earrings were in had this kind of face on it, and I thought it was pretty, so I did this based on that, and kind of messed up a little bit in a couple of places, and I made this flower out of book text, and it's sewn on in there. I might try this technique again because I love book text so much. But I kind of wish that I hadn't put the flower on her. But anyway. Then on the other side here, I liked the way that it looked, so I left it just like that. I traced it. These owls were inspired by Dee Dee, one of her Ustreams. I think they're adorable. So myself and my buddy over there were inspired by a floor tile. Yeah, so these were floor tiles. There's a lot of that in this journal, I think. Things inspired by floor tiles. There are a lot of these critters in this house. So anyway, I decided not to color these. I decided to just leave them like that. This was inspired by a scene in a TV show that I was watching. The Red Dwarf show is a tape transfer, where the kind where you put it in water and then take the paper off. This is what I call intuitive. I think I had a stencil that I had put down so that I wouldn't waste everything. And so I saw all these faces and critters and fairies, and so yeah, I saw all these things in what ended up on the page, and so I brought them out, colored them in, and so yeah, there you go. So yeah, this journal is not in chronological order either, and that bugs me a little bit too. So this was, oh wow, this is so hard. It's so big. Okay, sorry for the complaining. Okay, try to stop that. Oh, I got wax glue. Here I am complaining again. Anyway, this critter also inspired by a floor tile. And then, so I did him, and then also did this one, inspired by the same tile critter. Okay, now, where was I? Now I'm all confused. We're gonna get through this. Okay, Halloween time in the newspaper, there was this really cool contest where you had to find the differences, but the image was so cool and I loved it, so I put it in here. And it took a long time, but we did find the differences, but we didn't actually enter the contest. I just put it in here. And this is Greta Ogilbein. She's a witch character that I came up with many years ago. I have kind of revisited this character several years, like not all in a row, but anyway, I did this drawing of her because it was Halloween over 2012. So anyway, I believe I did a YouTube video, so you want to see that. I don't remember what was happening here, but it was some more of the roller coaster stuff, and some doodles, and some more doodles. Right, I was sick, and I was in a club where we had to do something creative every day, even if it was just a little doodle. And this week I was sick, and so I just did some doodles. And this is grateful. So So I guess she's not sad. And this is, I was experimenting with journaling in a shape like that, and I kind of like the results. This was all about how a friend of mine was making me feel judged and stuff. This was about Franklin's health, scary moments, and concern and stuff, but he's okay. And so yeah, this was inspired by a Hope Fairy by 80. I can't remember exactly her name. Anyway, floor tile dude. So this was the original. So see what happens when I see these critters in the floor tiles. I have stacks of scrap paper and a pen in several spots in the house for when this happens. And so when this does happen, I'll draw it quickly, like do the quick sketch just so I can, remember. But sometimes there are 2 or 3 versions of it that I see, and so sometimes I'll do all the versions that I see, and then I'll combine those versions into one for the, for the actual thing. Yes, this was one of those critters. Now, when I was little, I used to invent critters all the time. Not necessarily that I had seen them somewhere, but I would invent critters, and so at that time, I would have said that they were vegetarian, and I would have told you about the planet, and I would have told, I would have named it and all kinds of stuff like that. But these days, I just kind of do the drawing and maybe a little bit of journaling, but I don't tend to do the information about the critters like I used to. My mermaid's tail here is getting squashed there, but I put tape over it, so hopefully it can stand up to it. Okay, this is a stencil that I made with a photo that my sister had taken. This is a stamp, a Donna Downey stamp that I bought from the art house studio, and I drew a little bit over it because it didn't stamp properly, and then I did the tree and everything. And this is a black Phoebe bird that I made a stamp out of for myself. And so yeah, that's this page. So in here I have some private journaling. I taped these together with some sticky Velcro tape that I have, and so that's an idea for you. Like if you have some journaling you need or want to do, but you don't want just anybody to read it, you can do that. And here I was experimenting with making myself an alphabet and numbers. These are pieces from security envelopes, and so yeah, I was just experimenting with trying to make an alphabet for myself, and this is the word peace here. This was inspired by somebody, and I was doing this while, I think it was Karen Ellis, or was it Effie? Anyway, somebody was streaming and I was watching, and but I was also working on this at the same time, and yeah, it's just an abstract that I kind of like. This is a stamp polka dot stamp that I got from the Art House Studio, and I love this stamp. I've been using it a lot. And so then I doodled around the stamp, and so yeah, this every little circle or dot I did by hand, and so it took a while, but I like the result. I had watched a Midnight at Oasis, a special feature stream from Blade the Artistic Biker, and he had Amy Young visiting, and so I did this spread about them, or that interview. Yeah, that was fun. So this was, I don't remember exactly what had happened, because I avoid the news as much as possible, but some events make their way to me, of course, that, you know, it's inevitable. I will hear about it somehow, like from Facebook or from people talking about it or whatever. And this was one of those events that had happened, and everybody was talking about it, and they were praying and doing things, and Karen Ellis had done a spread about, had done something for that, and her canvas inspired this spread and some journaling about it. And so each heart represents one student that had died in some kind of event that happened. But yes, I don't remember the details. Anyway, and this butterfly, I have this stencil that makes hearts like this, and the biggest one, I just suddenly saw this butterfly in there, and so I did that. And those are from onions or fruit. I can't remember if it was from oranges or from onions, or anyway, something like that. It's food mesh. This is about that same stuff, that same incident. The wings are, I cut out individual feathers and colored them with marker, and they're made with used dryer sheets. Yeah. While watching Effie Winter Solstice stream on December 22nd of 2012, this is inspired by something she was doing. And this, I was just, when I was working on other projects, and this is where it started, I think, where it's not chronological, because remnants and tests and discoveries, like this tape transfer where you put the tape on your book text and then lift it up, and then it does cool things like this, and new die cuts. Yeah, just whatever. And sometimes just things that I found that I had from before, or things from other projects that I decided not to use in that other project after all. And so yeah, and my stamp that my Phoebe Bird stamp again, and another die cut and a die cut. Anyway, so yeah, this is just kind of a hodgepodge of different days. Like, I was made with some leaves from Michael's, and that's from December 13th and 14th of 2012, and then this is August 11th of 2013. So, and these were added just recently this month, and this is November 2013. Actually, this was probably October, so last month. Anyway, so yeah, just a whole bunch of different days, different stuff happening, and this was a Friday freebie from Golf Sprite or Christy Sobolewski. And I thought this was really cool, and so I thought I'd try and see what happened if I did the other side of the face. And it's kind of neat. But hers is, much better, of course. But and this is a creative bucket list that I started writing. And this is January 2013, January 3rd. This was inspired by something I saw, but I don't remember what. This was inspired by something too. Something I had watched with Natalie. I can't remember her last name. Sorry, Natalie. She was giving us really cool techniques and ideas, and I was experimenting with those. Using embossing powder on double-sided tape and foam tape and stuff like that. It was really a neat idea, and so I was just experimenting with that. I believe I did a video on the technique for this background, for where you put your watercolor crayon down and then use a baby white to bring out the stencil, and then trace around with pencils. Be open and receptive, take chances, dream, dance. I'd seen that somewhere. Don't remember where. Is that a stamp or I don't think I have that punch. I think it's a stamp and then I fussy cut it. And then this is a butterfly punch that I love. I love butterflies. What can I say? Tissue paper with dilutions on it and then let dry and then glued over top of this black acrylic paint because I was curious what would happen, and I actually do like the result. And then there she is again. Sometimes I have inspiration and it hits with several ideas, and I will do some of them sometimes. These are cut from different sales flyers, and yeah, I just wanted to do some of that just because I was in the mood for that, I guess. Oh, and this was an experiment. This was before I had embossing folders and a Big Shot machine. I have this texture plate thing from one of Franklin's old toys, and so I tried to. So all the white areas have texture on them. Well, not this side because of the other thing, but on this side, they all have texture tape, embossed texture. The some bits are scrapbooking paper, and some bits are stenciled, and so yeah, I had fun with this page, just doing experimental stuff, and basically this is just an abstract, but I like this. Flowers bought from Michael's with little dots around them with some Sharpie marker. So this says a gift from the snow fairies. I had gone outside and I had seen this heart shape, and at first I thought that Franklin would have had left that there for me, but then he said no, it wasn't me, and so I figured it was the snow fairies. And so I took the photo, put it there, and then I made a snow fairy. And this is, the wings are made from pieces of clear plastic container and yeah, marker. And then on another day, there was another just like it, and I took a picture of that one too, and journaled about that. And so there you go. And so my mom's birthday and Blade the Artistic Biker's birthday are in January. And Blade really loves Halloween. And he calls it the Halloweeny season. And so I did this spread. This one is mostly for Mam, for my mother, and the rest of it is mostly for Blade. So yeah, and oh yes, and my friend, her birthday is in January too. So yeah, there were a lot of January birthdays. My cousin. So this spread was about all kinds of January birthdays, and the happy birthday ween was for Blade that year. The mummy here didn't really turn out the way I intended him to. This was another gift, another Friday freebie from Golf Sprite or Christy Sobolewski. This was inspired by something I saw, but I can't remember what this must have been. Anyway, that's a picture of myself, and I made myself into a cat, and then I figured that the journaling should be of a ball of yarn, and so that's what that it represents. And I love free class that I was taking, and I loved the idea of the stencil, stamp, airmail and date stamp over and over again on top of each other like that, and I thought it was cool, and the photo's kind of neat too, I think. So okay, more floor tile critters. Actually, so this so I had a few pages that I had started like this, and then when I came pretty close to the end of the journal, I came back and filled in pages or you know, finished some of the thing. This was like that too. I finished this one. I had drawn it on February 3rd of this year, and then I colored it on October 29th of this year. And this was a fun experiment too that I liked. I had put these dot stickers on a piece of wax paper so that I could color them in with marker without, you know, going over my page, and I liked how it looked, and so I decided to do that on the page protector piece of wax paper. And so yeah, these are creatures by the Little Ink, or Courtney Brooke, I mean. This was an Art Geeks lesson. I think this guy here is my favorite, this stripy dude. Her dress is made with my polka dot stamp that I love and am using a lot lately. This was a dream that I had the day that Franklin proposed to me. And I had a dream in which I was going to marry him again. So yeah, this is about that dream where I was going to marry Franklin again. And the dress, and so yeah. More critters. This is a floor tile critter, and again there were a few variations of it in the same tile, and so I drew those, and so this guy is kind of a combo of those. This was also one that this page was blank, and so I came back and did this on October 23rd this year. And this one was, I saw this in a wood knot on my shelf, and I drew it on Tuesday, February 5th, but I didn't color it until October 29th of this year. This whole thing is based on a dream I had, and in the dream I died, but the experience was actually quite good. You'd think that it would be negative, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. So I was in the closet dying, and so yeah, the dream was all about that experience, and this worked better when I first made it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole dream because it was pretty, it was something. I have it written down on the back of the closet door here. But yeah, basically I died. And yeah, anyway, so that was about the dream, and this side too, and this fresh start, and so yeah. New me, it says. Okay, for March of this year, Franklin spoiled me with the birthday month. So he took me to the cinema to see The Wizard of Oz, it's not The Wizard of Oz, Great and Powerful Oz, Oz the Great and Powerful. So anyway, he took me to see that movie because he knows that I'm a fan of The Wizard of Oz, and because I wanted to see that show, and yeah, he kept surprising me. Several times during the month I would find gifts. I had said that I was running out of tape, and so he gave me some, and so yeah, I would find gifts here and there, and he took me out to eat at our favorite local Indian buffet restaurant, and some of the gifts that he gave me, the packaging from the gifts, and so yeah, this basically, this spread is about my birthday month, and he took me dancing, and so that was pretty cool and fun, and so yes, and these are some of the emails from the surprise days and stuff, so yeah. And this is about catching my dreams. This is about Tangled in Dreams. is some lyrics from Tiffany. Do I have something in here? Ah, yeah. Okay, this is recording of some of my dreams. This is when I wrote down some of the dreams, and then yeah. So this is more. Oh yeah, this was another dream where I was on trial. I don't remember what I was on trial for or too much about the dream, but anyway, this is another dream, and then in the envelope are more dreams that are written down, and so yeah. And this is a dream catcher. We had watched a TV show called Moon Boy, and in that show he had drawn a unicow, and it inspired me to draw my own unicow. And so yeah. This side is basically inspired by something Dee Dee had said, or a challenge she had put forth or something. Can't remember the details now. I'm sure that if I read my notes and my journaling that I would remember, but anyway. And this one is, sometimes I wish that I could take parts of, today's one of those days. I wish that I could take some of yesterday and some of tomorrow and tag it on to either end of today, so that today would last longer, so that I could get more stuff done and things. Because sometimes it seems like time just goes way too fast, and the time gets away from me and stuff like that. And here on this side, yeah, time flies slowly, because it often feels that way for me. Like almost every day it feels like whatever time it is, it's already that time, and it's only that time at the same time. It feels like time crawls, but at the same time, the next thing I know, it's the next day, or it's like the day is gone, and yeah, it's hard to explain it. But for me, almost all the time both crawls and flies at the same time. This was more birthday stuff, more of the actual day, or actually, yeah, this is from the actual day, and more stuff from the month. So yeah, my birthday is March 29th, and this year I was very spoiled. I got gifts such as movies and a game, Harry Potter game, a Harry Potter movie, and yeah, we went to the cinema for a few shows that I wanted to see, and my family did a Skype thing for me, and I enjoyed that, and I had lots of Facebook messages, and yeah, it was a good birthday, and it was my 40th, and apparently your 40th birthday is a big deal for some reason. So yeah, people made a big deal out of it. So so anyway, thanks everybody. I did have a really good 40th birthday month. This is about my aunt who she died. At the time that I did this, she didn't die. She wasn't dead yet. But anyway, this was a sad day. This was about a day that I had spent with Karen Ellis at the Art House Studio, and her dog Mozart was there with her. Her assistant Jen was there too, and it was a great day. I was helping them prepare for Scrapfest. I had recently gotten one of my first dies and I had just recently got the Big Shot machine, and I was excited about it, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work properly, and so you can see that like it didn't work properly on all of it. But then Karen was kind enough to help me out, and I now am able to cut them to do them properly. But I still liked the way this page looked, and so I just left it like that. This was, I think it's painted pages. This is one of the, okay, so not painted pages. This is altered backgrounds. It's offered by Golf Sprite or Christy Sobolewski, and I recommend it. It is really fun, and I love it, and I want to do it again, and I want to take the rest of it. I just am having trouble finding the time because I've got other stuff on the go, but yes, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I love my results. This critter showed up in the Neo color that I had put down for this background. This is a napkin that I was trying to... This napkin was supposed to go on the other pages with the flag. Oh, yeah, this napkin was supposed to go on this side, but it got too busy and just didn't work, so I decided not to do it after all. So I just glued it here instead, and like I said, this critter showed up in the Neo color watercolor crayons that I had put for the background. And yeah, this was Canada Day, and so I was doing those are the lyrics to "Oh Canada," and this is a journaling spot that Jenny Belly I got from Jenny Belly. This is just some journaling. I'm in that creative overwhelmed state again, and so I'm just writing all about that. This was a leftover page where every time I had something, like I had used a stencil or I had some paint left over or whatever, I just put it on here any which way. And so then I came back and drew the girl and her dog and the gulls, and made this look more like mountainy or rocky cliff-like things, or something like that. So yeah, and this was inspired by a dream, but then it evolved into something else, and a new stamp that I have that I got when I was visiting my family last time. But yeah, this is just based on a dream. This also is all about a dream that I had about now. And as Blade pointed out when I shared this for what's on my easel, we call those horses. Okay, but yeah, if you had experienced the dream, you would know. This is a unicorn without a horn. But yeah, it's more profound than just it's a horse, because it's not just a horse. This is using a stencil that I have, a new stencil that I have, and then I colored it in and with colored pencils and stuff. And anyway, yeah, and I wrote all about the dream and stuff. This also is about a dream I had, and now that I've thought about it and I'm awake and all that stuff, I realized that the girl was me, but at the time I didn't realize. The girl was me. I know that because this dress, I had this dress when I was little, and I look pretty much like that when I was her age. So anyway, but yeah, this was a weird dream as well. And this, I had watched a YouTube video a long time ago, probably last year or the year before, and I loved the idea that she had done, where she had done a spread in her journal based on a book she had read. And when I watched the video, I commented and I said, that's a really great idea, I should do that. And so I finally got around to doing it, based on a book I had read. And well, actually more than one book. It's a series of books. It's the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind, but these were from a couple of those books. So anyway, this is the chicken thing, and this is Richard, and this is Kaylin, and this is the Sliff. Those are all things that appear in the book. And so anyway, I thought it was appropriate to make a book text background. Book text makes me ridiculously happy. I just really love book text, and it's two of the books in particular in the series that I was reading. And so yeah, Art Journal Challenge by Creative Creations by Andrea Gomo. This is the video. She had challenged herself, and I took on the challenge too. Anyway, and so yeah, just journaling about all that. This was the scene out the window when we had fallen asleep on the love seat, and then finally made our way up to bed around 5:30 in the morning, and this is how it looked at that time of day. And it looked as if the moon was hung on the big bright star that was out. It just looked like it. And so I did that, and then the trees, the tops of the trees looked like this wolf shape, or even like the Grimm from Harry Potter. But this one didn't really work out too well. This one is closer to how it actually looked, but anyway, yeah. It was, pictures didn't do it justice because it was too dark, and my drawings didn't really do it justice either, but it was really, really magical and beautiful. This image just sort of showed up in my head, and then I had the idea to try and journal in shapes. So this is a dragonfly and this is a butterfly shape. So yeah, I was just trying that out. I kind of like that idea. And I did a YouTube video, a little stop motion animation with this. But this was based on something that I experienced while doing one of the 21-day meditations. And yeah, this one was a guided one, and so these are some of the things that were being said, and but this whole thing really didn't work. It was a messy disaster. So that little sketch there is a lot closer. Basically, I was in the middle of a field of flowers that was flanked by, both sides had a forest, and the trees were thick and lush with leaves and stuff, and the flowers were beautiful, and there were many different kinds, and there were butterflies all around the flowers, and this one flower opened up one petal at a time before me and stuff like this. Anyway, it was an experience, but it's hard to describe it, and this really, this just ugly, and it didn't work. And I don't know if you can see, but this is me there, but I'm there, but I'm not there at the same time, was the idea behind that. But it didn't really work very well. So anyway, yeah. Okay, this image came to me, and then I did these other ones inspired by this too. I had been seeing mannequins in some really neat stores that I had gone to with a friend of mine, and seeing these really cool mannequins that I really loved. So then those I'm sure had something to do with why this image came to my head. And then this is also inspired by Ophelia under the day moon. I think that's what it's called. I just love her. I want her book. Just something that showed up in my head. This is a Friday freebie from Golf Sprite or Christy Sabiluski, and I was inspired by something she did with her own collage sheet, and I wanted to do something like it, so I cut pieces from her sheet and then made it into her hair, and then I extended the hair and stuff. So anyway, this is just an experiment, and this is a whole bunch of leftovers and additions and just experimenting with a bunch of layers of just stuff, and seeing what it would do on top of each other and stuff. And I'm really liking this. I'm liking using this food mesh, like from onions or fruit or whatever. I don't really like this page as a whole, but bits and parts of it I do like, and I did. Sorry about that. It's a game notification thing. Anyway, I was experimenting with all kinds of stuff. Like there's bits of corrugated cardboard. There's some shavings from my colored pencils. There's some tissue paper. There are pieces of scrapbooking paper. There's paint. There's more tissue paper. There are reinforcers and napkins, and yeah, just all kinds of stuff on here. And then I also have a paper edger ruler thing that you put it down, you put the ruler down, and then you rip up, and it makes this really neat edge. And so I did that on there. This was leftovers from a Rectus journal page I had done. Place leaves and other found things here was the page that I had done. And I had picked up a lot of stuff, and so I had way too much for the Rectus journal and the Wreck It Again, and so I just did this spread in here, and then I still had some more, and so I did this, and this was an experiment sandwiched some leaves and things between 2 sheets of tissue paper, and the paper had confetti in it, shiny confetti in it, and I really like it, except that it didn't do what I thought it would. Like here, it worked the way I thought it would, right there. And I really love that section right here, where you can actually see the leaves through it and everything. But most of it is here, but I think I know what happened. Like, I think that I can get it to do this throughout. I think that the glue wasn't thick enough in some areas, and if I had dried and flattened the leaves before putting them in here, it would have been less bubbly and less, yeah, it would have worked better, I think. But I still like it. And then Effie had done, in the BOD program that I had won, 18-week BOD premium, Effie had done a wolf's head, and I fell in love with it, and I went crazy, and I did all kinds of it. I cut out all kinds of them, and they're still, most of them are still waiting for me to do something with them. But anyway, I cut them out of tin foil. I cut them out of a lot of different scrapbooking papers, and I've had ideas for some spreads to use with them, and wrote down, I had a scrap attack all about it. Anyway, but on this particular back cover, I love the look of this just like that. So I just decided to just leave it just like that, and I didn't even do the journaling on this side. I did the journaling here. And so yeah, this is the back cover, and so I did this on October 13th, or this journal is October 13th, 2012 to October 30th, actually 31st, Halloween Day, of 2013. And so yes, this is just journaling about this journal. And just sort of closing it out. And I was so excited because when I did this cover, it was snowing. It was snowing for the first time of this season, and so I was very excited about that. Yes, I'm also saying in here about how I don't like that it's not chronological, so I'm probably not going to do that again. So yeah, there you go. That's this journal.